Hey everybody, how's it going today? It's Joey, and going to go over a couple things. We're going to look at some questions about some more musician issues, and you know these musician issues are just never ending. They will always be in our hearts and minds, and they will always be forefront of what band leaders, are happy about and what band leaders are worried about, what stresses us out, what makes us happy. We're going to go through a ton of situations like that. And hopefully, we touch on, something that could help you out in your quest to either be a better side musician, to be a better freelance musician, or to become a band leader yourself. Because if you ever want to make money in this business, it is possible as a freelance musician, and believe me, the stress is much, much less. But if you want to make real money, you need to become a band leader and you need to be the business owner. So that's what this channel is devoted to. So helping people to be better players. I'm not the be all end all, definitely didn't claim to be. I've just seen a lot of different situations along the way. I've been doing this for, a long time, and consider myself an expert on making money, leading bands, also in investing and things like that, which we will also touch on. The first question is going to be, I booked the gigs in our band. So the bass player accepted the gig, and a day before the gig, he canceled because he's struggling with health problems. In a flat spin, I managed to find a replacement so that we can play the gig. Now this bass player is angry with me for replacing him. What should I do? Get another bass player or try to salvage the relationship? So in a nutshell, the band leader booked a gig, and everybody in the band took the gig. And then the day before the gig, one of the band members dipped out, said, I'm having health issues. And you'll hear everything as a band leader. You'll hear health issues. You'll hear my cat is having kittens. You will hear my back is acting up, or I had a death in the family, or you will even hear a friend of mine is in the hospital, or there's a multitude of things you will hear. So a percentage of them are justified. Like if somebody, immediate family members in the hospital or whatever, that's serious stuff. And as a band leader, you need to be aware that this could happen to you. And you are always open to this risk. You're always open to somebody canceling on you. The way to deal with this is to work with players that you know really well, that aren't going to let you down. These are players that have been helping you for years. And, if something comes up and they come to you and say, yeah, I threw out my back, but I'm going to make it through this gig because I gave you my word. I'm going to do this gig and I'm going to kick ass. And some have even done the gig and then played it, and then afterwards told me, said, hey man, that was a rough one for me. Sorry if I messed up here and there because, I threw my back out and I'm just, not feeling good. So that's like the best thing a band leader could hear, because then the band leader can say, wow, thank you, for doing the gig and for helping me out. And I didn't even notice, I didn't even notice. So good job. The family emergency is a real one. And it's scary. There's not much you can do. If somebody says they have a family emergency, what are you going to do? What are you going to say to them? So what they will say is like, hey, I'm sorry, but this band gig is not as important as my family. And a lot of people can relate to that. The best thing to do, and what I do in this situation, is I don't have a primary bass player or drummer or male singer. Like I said before, it's my wife and I, and she's the lead singer, and we know we're going to do the gig, because we're business owners and we have clients, and since we have those clients, we have to do what we can to fulfill our obligations to them. And there was only one time in my life that I wasn't able to fulfill my obligation here a couple years ago. A huge wedding that was a big budget wedding, that was one that I've been looking forward to for a year or more. And I got COVID, and also my wife got COVID. She got it like 7 days before the gig. And this was back in like 2021, when it was still, people were still up in arms, and, they didn't understand a lot about it. And so a lot of people had to cancel gigs. And so my wife got it. And then we tried to do, social distancing in the house, but the damage had already been done, before she tested or knew about it or knew she had it. Of course, we were living in the same house. So, of course, I got it. And I had to tell the client, it's like, well, what do you want to do? I was throwing out stuff like, well, I'll wear a mask and stuff while I play. And that was a real tough thing to go through. That's the only gig I canceled. My dad passed away on a Saturday in the morning. And I played a gig that night. And then after the gig that night, I went down to go be with my brothers that all live about hour and a half away from me. So there wasn't much I could do. My brothers just kind of said, hey, it was expected that our dad was going to pass away. And, they said, don't try to get down here. We're not doing anything until Monday. But I really wanted to get down there that Saturday night. So after I got done with the gig, it was definitely a different gig for me. But I felt good that I still went out and played. Playing for me is therapeutic, along with, my source of income and everything else. But playing for me is just what I do. It's a part of me. It's in every aspect of my life. My whole life revolves around it. So yeah, I don't cancel if I don't have to. So anyways, I've got a couple bass players, couple drummers, couple singers, and people that I can call. So one time, a huge wedding that was a few hours away from the house, along with a ferry ride. So it was a real difficult logistical wedding to get to, plus a huge budget wedding, a big deal, you name it. And the drummer did not make the meetup time. My normal drummer that I always play with was out of town, so I was using kind of a sub. And he was a guy I trusted. He'd done plenty of gigs for me. I definitely did not worry about it at all. I called him and I couldn't get a hold of him. Nobody could get a hold of him. So at that point, I'm literally like 911. I remembered a drummer that I had contacted and that had played a little bit with me, had not played with me a bunch, and I offered him the gig. I said, hey, can you meet us at this difficult place to get to, by 7 p.m. tonight? And this was like, 9 in the morning. And this person moved mountains for me. And, I don't know how he got ready. We had jammed a few times before, but definitely not a lot. So this drummer was pretty green with my material. I don't know if he listened to the music on the way out there or whatever. I don't know. But he did get out there, and we did play the gig, and we did get it done. And I'll never forget this guy in all my life for saving me that day, and saving me, the business owner and the band leader, from having to make a very tough phone call. This is where it's good to have friends. And this drummer, even to this day, still helps me out. He just helped me out a couple weeks ago. So the drummer that canceled on me, I never talked to him again, and never accepted the phone calls. If you watch some of my other videos, we don't really pal around like friends and stuff. It's pretty much a professional situation. So I wasn't close to this person, and after this happened, I just didn't call him or didn't say anything. And I think the person wanted to apologize, but I wouldn't even take the call because it just didn't. It just wasn't that important to me. I'd moved on, and that's that. So this guy says that now that he's canceled the day of the gig, it's like he wants the band to cancel the whole gig I guess to be in solidarity with them. What is he? He's angry that a sub bass player was found, and the bass player who canceled was angry or was feeling some type of way about the band playing on without him. So that kind of strikes me in a few different ways. Again, if this is a low budget bar gig, probably nobody cares. People are, going to listen to the jukebox and watch TV anyways. But if this is a wedding or something, or a big budget event, yeah, you got to find somebody. If I was the band leader in this situation, I would have done the same thing. I would have tried to find a bass player because, people have counted on this gig. Maybe some people are depending on the money. You don't know. It doesn't matter. You agreed to do this gig, and, now that this person is saying that they can't do it, they don't want anybody in the band to do it, that's messed up. So if I was the band leader, I would have handled it the same way. I would have got the bass player to fill in. Probably would have been a rough gig. Anybody you're hiring on the day of the gig, it might be shady. May not. You may find somebody that's played a lot of gigs with you, but in my experience, calling people on the day of the gig, you're scraping around. And so as far as this bass player that canceled before the gig, I would say, what's up? Why did you cancel? If they said, well, my cat was having kittens, or I had to take the garbage out, or, I just didn't feel like playing, I would probably begin the tough discussion of removing this person from the band. I would say, all right, well, I'm not going to do anything right now, but your future gigs, I'm going to put on hold for right now, unless you can tell me that you're going to, make things work and you're going to take this more seriously, because this could have been a one-off incident. And I would start looking around for somebody else. Maybe the guy that helped out, if he's a good, competent bass player, then, I would start to offer him some gigs if he did a good job, if you saw potential. But I would probably go out, find somebody new, and begin the steps of replacing this person, because once a person has done that to you, it's kind of going to linger in your head, and you're always going to be worried about this person, going forward. And so if you made it to the end of this video, if you could help me out with the like and the subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. I'm going to be going over everything music related, music business, band situations, tough situations to deal with. I'm going to go through a lot of drug abuse and mental health things on this channel. And if any of that interests you from a band leader perspective or from a side musician perspective, please like and subscribe. I want to hear from everybody as much as possible. Has this situation ever happened to you? Is this something that you've had to deal with? How did you deal with it? I would love to hear other people's stories. Let me know in the comments. I always want to improve, and I feel like this YouTube channel for me is going to help me to improve, to give me a different perspective on things, to help me see, two sides of the story. Maybe I'm missing something, or, maybe I need to look at something further. And I hope to grow a community here, because whenever I have issues, I want my YouTube community to help me with those issues. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear what you would do if you were posed with the same situation that I had. I'm going to put a lot of videos up here, in the hopes of growing this channel, and I hope to hear from you guys. So please let me know in the comments section. Please like and subscribe, and thank you very much for hanging out with me today.